Well, so now you start filming for Power.
Yep.
And a lot of the initial scenes are you and 50 Cent. What was different about 50 Cent? I mean, because I've known 50 Cent for a long time, and we're not close. You know, we just ran into each other on a plane recently, so we know each other.
Yeah.
And 50's always been interesting to me. Like, I remember when I first met him, he went around the room and shook everyone's hand and introduced himself to every single person.
Yep.
Even though everyone knew who he was, obviously.
Yep.
He was the most famous person in the room, but he was so humble and would introduce himself to everyone. I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's different. This is not the image that he portrays.
Yeah.
So what was different about 50 than all the other people that you've met up to this point?
Man, 50's mind is so calculated. So learning him as a businessman, learning how he was as an actor, learning him as a mogul, learning him as how he dealt with women, learning him how he was as a boss, a leader of the set. I was a sponge, bro. And speaking of when he did that, that's something that I stole from him in terms of, I could be in a room where everybody knows who I am, but that and making sure that you know everybody's name. You know, these things were small things that I took from him. But meeting him initially, like, he's a wealth of knowledge. So his thing was, if you want to listen, he's going to be able to just say, oh, homie want to listen, let me just explain as much as possible. So I was terrified to tell him that I was an artist, because what happened was, the first day I met him, we had a car scene. The second day I met him, we had a car scene. An artist that was in the hood came up to the window and was like, yeah, yo, 50, take my mixtape. So 50 looked at the mixtape and literally just threw it out the window. So I'm like, oh shit, okay, I can't tell him that I do this. I don't want to do this. Like, yeah, let me just chill. Let me just be an actor, you know? And in that moment, I was like, man, if he finds out that I do music, I want it to be that he understands, he finds out on his own, not necessarily me telling him. So I did, for the first 3 months, he didn't know anything about the music. So what happened was, those first 3 months, I'm learning, I'm picking his brain on how to multitask, because I'm a Renaissance man myself, so I'm learning how he does what he does. And in my life so far, the only other Renaissance man that I had met was Jamie Foxx. So comparing Jamie and 50, you know, it was different, because when I met Jamie, this is maybe a year ago, and maybe a year before that, Jamie was a fan of the Boss show that I was on. And so he was the first celebrity that ever took me in. Like, I met him at a party. So this is how it happened. So during that time, Jamie was filming Django. So he had like the beard and everything just looked dirty as fuck. He just looked really bad. So I didn't know who he was. So it was a party. Somebody's tapping on my shoulder. And now he's like, yeah, man, I'm a fan of you. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, man, I'm a fan of you. I turn around and it's Jamie. He's like, yo, me and Leonardo DiCaprio, we watch your show. We're always trying to figure out who that kid is. We love you, man. We love Kelsey. We love what you're doing. So this is the first celebrity that I met in LA when the show was on. So he was like, yo, come to my house. Come to my house. Come, just you know, tell me more about you, because I've never seen you in my life. I said, yeah, no, none of y'all have ever seen me in my life. I've been popping for 5 minutes, you know? So I go to his crib and he's like, yo, so tell me about yourself. And I was like, look, man, I do music. You know, I'm an artist. I kind of fell into this acting thing. He said, yo, that's kind of my story. He's like, you got some music to play? So I played him my music and he was blown away, like blown away. And at that particular time, he had taken me in and he was like, I want you to be the next generation of what I've set in stone. Whereas the acting, the comedy, and the music, he was like, this is what I envision for you. You got all the gifts. We just got to nurture it. So it was to the point where he was a big brother to me. Jamie Foxx became a big brother to me. And for about a good year, it was, you know, back and forth in LA, I saw that lifestyle. So then, fast forward, another Renaissance man is now, you know, saying, yo, I see what you're doing as an actor. So 50 was just one of those people that mentally you have to pay attention, because there's so many gems in what he's saying. And then also, like, be authentically yourself. And that's what I had to realize in this industry. He's like, yo, don't be nobody else. Don't be nobody else, bro. Because during that time, I'm still trying to figure it out. So he's like, stop pretending in any capacity. Just be Rotimi. Whatever that is, just be that and you'll be here for 30, 40 years. And always be good to people. You know, and that was one of his things that he taught me early. But, you know, 50's 50.
Well, you get this role of Dre on Power. And Dre is a straight, grimy, dirty, filthy, you know, stab you in the back and then console your wife, you know, steal from you and help you look for your wallet, like that type of dude, right? So what was it like to play this character that everybody hated?
Ooh, to be real, Vlad, man, at first it was tough, man, because you're not used to social media being like, man, before Dre, the only things I'd hear was from women, you fine, you cute, you this. From dudes, it's like, yeah, keep doing your thing, homie. Then it turned to, man, fuck you. I hate Dre. Drake's bitch ass. And you're like, wait, what? And you're so affected, you know? Like it's triggering, you know what I mean? But you realize, oh my God, like I'm doing such an amazing job that you're forgetting that that's not even a real human. You know what I mean? So I had to take it as, wow, they're loving my gift. They're appreciating my gift. And again, what also was tough, because during the time, music was my focus. So I'm like, yo, how the hell am I gonna make people wanna listen to my music if they're so strongly every weekend hating a character that is polarizing as he is? So again, I had to figure out, what can I do to make sure that they still know that Rotimi is separate from Dre? And that was the hardest thing for a long time until we then eventually figured it out. But hearing that, bro, like I remember meeting Sanaa Lathan and all these beautiful women, and then I'd meet Ed Norton and all these people, and they'll be like, man, you're a motherfucker, bro. And it's like, I'm actually a nice guy, brother. You know what I mean? So like, it's like, okay, just keep doing what you're doing, bro. And that's what it was for me when it came to that, for sure.